Coming to you live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, and all across the world, psychic, medium, and energetic healer Sheena Metal brings you Messages from Spirit.
Hi, and welcome to Messages from Spirit, only on PARAPOD TV. I'm Sheena Metal. I'm a psychic medium. I'm an energetic healer. I'm a talk radio host and a creative and performing artist. I'm also an interfaith minister. And here's what we do every week, every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. I'm a real psychic medium. I talk to real people. We have real conversations. They ask real questions. And I work to get real messages from Spirit, to get them some real answers and some real healing. It's all about being real here. And I love this show. If you want to be a guest on the show, send me a text message, 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. Or visit my website, sheenametalspiritual.com. And of course, always follow me everywhere on social media. I'm just at Sheena Metal, and that's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and X, formerly Twitter. Today, I want to talk a little bit about giving yourself a break. Throughout my life, when my mother was alive, she always said, give yourself a break, kid. And that was in regards to me trying to push myself too much physically, emotionally, energetically. So many times I would come to her and I would say, I just feel like I'm not ... And she would say, insert the thing here. And she would say, give yourself a break, kid. And that's the message that I'm imparting to all of you. That's been something that's been hard for me in my own life. Always feeling like I have to do everything. I have to be responsible for everything. I have to carry the earth on my back, humanity on my back. I have to always be the one to be there, always show up, no matter how exhausted I am, no matter how sick I am. And I think it was when I had COVID and I was down, and then I had long COVID and I was down for a year and a half. I was not 100%. I don't know that I'm still 100%. That I learned that sometimes it's okay to choose you. Sometimes it's okay to give yourself a break. Sometimes it's okay to say, man, I would love to do these 50 things, but I only have it in me to do 2. Recently, I've had a problem with my stomach, and in kind of a consequence of really bad food poisoning that I had that kind of screwed my stomach lining up. And I realized in that time that it's okay. Like, I can do as much as I can do, and then I have to say no. So when I start my live psychic broadcast that I do 3 times a week on my social media, sometimes when Spirit tells me, okay, it's done, it's done. There was a time when I would push myself like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I would make myself answer everybody. It's wonderful, right? A valiant effort. But if I hurt myself, then I can't be here to do this for you another day. So it really has to be about you choosing you first, you taking care of you first. It's so important that you do that, because otherwise you melt down, you have a physical and emotional, a spiritual breakdown, and then you have got nothing for nobody. And then that's worse. So it's so important, in order to not feel overwhelmed by our lives, to not feel bogged down by our responsibilities, to not feel pushed and pressured and cornered and all those terrible words, all the things, that we give ourselves a break. And sometimes we say, this is the time where, you know what? I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose taking care of myself, because that's the best thing for me. And then I can love and help all the people once I've rebuilt up myself. It's like they say on the plane, right? The flight attendant says, when the oxygen masks drop, you put yours on first, and then you can save the plane. So think about that. All right. choose you. All right, let's do a message from Spirit. I would love it. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Where are you from?
I'm
Who
good.
are you?
How are
Hello.
you? I'm Katie
I'm
from
good.
Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey.
Beautiful. What's your question for me, sweetheart?
Well, now I feel funny asking this question after you just had your little speech, but it is about my love life.
No, that's good.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm going through a lot, and it would help if I had a supportive partner, and my current one is not that supportive right now, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I just think that some people are not really good at when things are not really good. And it's hard because that's when you need them the most.
Mm-hmm.
But people can only do what they can do, right? And they can only be what they can be. And everything in me is telling me that this guy, he's great. It's not that he's a bad person, but it's almost like when stuff gets real, he almost becomes like paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls inside of himself, and then he starts to shut down. So you're getting less. First, you were getting less reaction, and now you're almost getting like less communication, right, Katie?
Absolutely.
And then you panic, right? Because when that happens to you, you start to panic. So he pulls away, and now you're chasing farther. So he's pulling away more, and then you're like, wait, where did he go? I mean,
Yeah.
so I think that if you want to save the relationship, because this is one of those situations with it being a deficit in his personality, sweetheart, where you really need to wait until you're in a better spot with him to have this conversation. Because if
Okay.
you have it now, he's just going to run farther. So if I were you, here, I would pull back, deal with your stuff. I know it hurts.
Yeah.
And let him realize that you're not relying on him for everything. And then he can calm down.
Okay, makes sense.
Does that make sense to you? And then when
Yes.
he comes back and things are better and you're not in a place of crisis and things have built more solidly, then you can say to him, Katie, next time I go through something really hard. I really kind of need you to, you know what I mean? And just do it in a way where you can have the discussion, but not now. You have the discussion when you're tight and everything's good.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Because what I don't want is for you to chase him off. Because when people are in this kind of shutdown mode, if you keep kind of trying to get them to open up and they're determined to be shut down, sometimes how they react to that is they run.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they run so far they never come back. And I don't think you want that, because the connection between the two of you is actually kind of groovy and beautiful. It's just really important that there's some things places where he needs to grow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So and you need to encourage him to grow in those areas, but he's not going to grow while he's in withdrawn mode.
Okay. Yeah, that makes complete sense.
And it's actually good for you too, because it's very important in this life that we learn to rely on ourselves and not expect someone to be there for us. Then when someone is there for us, anybody in our life, friends, family, partners, then it's just a joy, right? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Look who's here for me. But we need to make sure that we know how to walk this path on our own, just with the guidance of Spirit holding our hand, and get to the point where we don't need anybody else. But then when other people are in our lives, isn't that wonderful, and isn't that a blessing?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're wonderful, sweetie. It's going to be okay. I'm sending you so much love.
Thank you.
Bye, honey.
Right.
And, what Katie talked about, that's a hard thing. When you're going through stuff and you need support and love, and you realize that somebody in your life, sometimes even your partner, right, who should be the most supportive person, is not able to be there for you. That's difficult. That's a hard thing to deal with, a hard thing to go through. And people can be trained to deal with emotional situations better, but you can't ever try to approach them while they're, it's like trying to pull a turtle's head out of the shell. Like, it just doesn't happen. When that turtle's in there, man, you can't get to that turtle. It looks like there's not even a turtle. It looks like there's just a shell with nothing in it. And that's what happens when you try to find somebody who is withdrawn and pull them out of their shell. You have to wait till they open up and then find ways to coax them into not going back in. So important. All right. Beautiful, beautiful call and a great way to start. And I'm loving being with you already. And I want to give somebody else a message from Spirit. Hi.
Hey, Sheena, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had a question. I feel like my grandmother's been trying to come through to me a lot because I've been feeling her presence around me recently. And my question is, is she trying to tell me that the guy that I've been talking to is really the one? Because it's kind of what it feels like, but I'm not sure if that's the message that she's trying to get through or not.
Well, she's definitely trying to get through the message that you're on the right track. Okay. And she loves that because there have been so many that weren't the right track, right?
Yes, very much so.
and she's tried to be patient through all of those while living and not living. It's she likes this connection, but she's also trying to tell you to go slow and build a beginning and not get to a place you're not at yet. Like a lot of people, they'll call, a lot of my clients, they'll call and they want to book a session and they're like, I met somebody. I'm like, that's great. And then like 2 seconds later in the conversation, is he the one? Is it going to last forever? I'm like, oh my God. You're not, you know what I mean? Let's not leap from
not
1 to 1.5 million.
Right.
It's not, you're supposed to enjoy the journey. And I know that in the earthbound plane, on the earth, in our human lives, as opposed to our spiritual lives, we are taught to, lock it down, get that man, lock it down, get married, make him be with you forever. But the truth is, just because you have a ceremony and a piece of paper doesn't mean that someone's going to be with you forever.
Or that you want them to be.
Yeah, right? Well, woo. So the trick is really to build a foundation and also to live your life every day, while you're waiting for this relationship to become something more than it is right now. You're still interacting and your souls are tied together every single day. So enjoy the process of every day that you spend with this person, and every day that this person has touched your life. And try not to worry about, the one and the forever and just enjoy that it's a good connection and it feels really good. And I think that's an important lesson that Grandma's trying to give you is, let's not push it farther than it is right now. Let's just enjoy what it is and let it build. And because sometimes also when we throw these huge expectations on something, then we become very disheartened when it doesn't happen as quickly as we want. It doesn't happen just the way we want. Whereas if we just stay open and walk the path with someone, then, then we're not expecting a lot of stuff from them that isn't happening yet. And people, call me and they'll say, it hasn't happened. And I'm like, no, it hasn't happened yet. I always think of that beautiful quote, right? Everything will be all right in the end. If it's not all right, it's not the end. So, you know what I mean? So I think that's the message Grandma is telling you, to relax into this.
Okay.
Enjoy the connection. Enjoy the experience of what it is.
Yeah, because he's been in my life for about a decade now. And we've taken it slow. That's been our pace. It's been just like inch by inch to make sure that we're both comfortable. We're both in the right mindset, the right growth spot. So we've just been very slow and steady about things. So
I love that. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's amazing. So I'm so happy for you, and things are doing so I think it's great. And I think this is somebody you can really trust. And you've spent that decade building up the trust, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I share everything with him. When it's good, when it's bad, he's the first one. He will, find me in a spot where he'll call and I'll be like, oh, I actually need to talk to you. And I wasn't even realizing that I did. And he'll remind me of something, like whenever my oldest had skipped school and was eating Chinese food, and I walked in, and he'll just make me crack up laughing. So
That's beautiful. Isn't that nice just to have had him in your life? And that's another thing that Grandma wants you to do. Is she wants you to take stock in how beautiful it is that you've had him in your life. And how lucky you are to be getting involved with somebody that you've known for this long, and that you've built trust, and you can trust. I mean, that's a gift. It's already a gift, and it's going to become more of a gift.
thank you. I
So it's
appreciate you so
fantastic,
much.
and it's just going to get better. So I appreciate you, sweetheart. You have a
Love you.
wonderful day, and take care of you.
You too. Love you, darling.
Love you too, sweetheart.
Bye.
Bye. I love she's in her car. She's like all in her car with the seatbelt. Like, I'm calling into messages from Spirit. And you guys can too. 818-437-0886. Send me a text message and tell me you want to get a guest on the show, and I'll get you booked in. We're booked about a month in advance. But super excited. So it's all good. We've been doing this now since June. We've been on PARAPOD since August. And so thrilled to have this wonderful show and to be here with you. And please visit my website, SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. All right, that's SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. And visit me on social media everywhere at Sheena Metal. That's how you find out what I'm doing. I do free reading broadcasts on social media 3 times a week. I do a Friday talk show called the Sheena Metal Experience. I do this show every Wednesday. I'm adding 2 more shows probably next month, and then another one probably before the end of the year. And it's all good. So it's nice to be here with you. Okay, so I was just dealing with a little thing, because that happens, little studio thing, technical things. My wonderful engineer and producer, Emery, handles almost everything because he's a rock star. But sometimes we get stuck in a situation where I have to handle something. So let's do another message from Spirit. I'm excited and I'm thankful, and I'm wonderful to have you here. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Who are you and where are you from?
I'm Kim from White Plains, New York.
Hi, Kim. How are you? So nice to see you. I've been to White Plains many times.
So we had that conversation one time. You're not too far away from where I am.
Yeah, that's right. Right. That my mom grew up outside of Poughkeepsie.
Yep, exactly.
I went there many times as a child. But back then, it probably still does, but it kind of looked like the movie Sleepy Hollow. There's lots of big trees, my friend. Lots of big trees.
Yeah, it's nice up there.
So what is your question for me?
My question is, I was wondering who the first person was to greet my mother in the spirit world, because I'm always worried she's like alone. And
oh, but she's in the spirit world?
yes.
Okay. Her mother came to greet her.
Oh. Well, I'm happy.
Did she have kind of a sometimes difficult relationship with her mother?
I would say somewhat, yes.
Okay, yeah, because I could see that she was surprised. Your mother was surprised that her mother was the first one to greet her.
I mean, they got along well and everything like that, but, like my grandmother was like the helicopter mother with her.
Oh, yeah.
Change things for her, like wouldn't let her be free to do as she pleased, and
yeah,
that kind of thing. So
yeah,
kind of made my mom like move away
and rebel sometimes, right? There was some rebellion.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, not even basically, yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to make it look good.
Well, the beautiful thing about when folks cross over is that they realize that they let everything go from Earth, right? So by the time your mom got there, your grandmother had realized like everything she hadn't done right and had let that all go. As soon as your mom crossed, any stuff she had about your grandma all was gone. So what there was just soul meeting soul in perfect beauty and in perfect harmony, which is 100% the way that it should be. And how it always is at home. You know, if we could just figure out how everything is done at home, things would be so much better and so much easier for us.
Yeah, definitely.
But we make it so hard for ourselves, you know, here in so many ways that it doesn't have to be hard. And it's a shame that we do that. And I think the reason that I'm telling you that is that your mom and your grandma, it's grandma that's past day, it's dead grandma day. Your mom and your grandma want you to know that you need to let so many things go, so many worries, so much anxiety, so many resentments, places where you feel like you were wronged, and you were, like, justifiably, but you need to let it go, because now is the time. Don't wait until you've passed, they're saying. Right now, sweetheart, lighten your life. Does that make sense?
I carry a lot.
Yeah, because they're telling me you carry so much, and they just want you to lighten your life.
Thank you. I
Does
appreciate
that make
it.
sense?
It totally does.
You're going to be so much happier when you do that. And I see with you that there's also like there's lots of worry. There's like, you worry that you made the wrong decision. You worry that you've done something wrong. Like, you just worry all the time. Like, you overthink. Like, your brain is just like, woo, all the time.
You
like,
know me so well. Like,
right?
so
And
well.
you're overthinking, worry. Did I do it right? Did I do that right? Right now, you're like, did I ask the right question? Should I have asked something different?
I already said in the thing. I go, oh my God, my question's like so stupid. Like, I'm just like,
Is Sheena okay? Does she think the question was dumb? Is she going to be mad I asked this question?
Yep. I like frazzle myself over this.
Let it go. Let it go. You know what it's like,
it's unhealthy.
You need to, like, here is where the information comes in, right? Over here, you need to imagine like a trash can, like you have on your computer, and you're just dumping all that stuff that you don't.
That's why, like, all these years, I was always worried. I'm like, well, what if she's alone? What if this? What if that?
No, nobody's alone. Even if you didn't have a soul on the earth and you went home, your soul family would be there. Spirit would be there. There's angelics there. It's full of souls. There's no such thing as alone. Is a concept that human beings have created on earth, the concept of alone. There is no,
basically,
no
I'll have to let it go in this ear and out this one into my little trash pail.
Right. Yes. Trash pail, right? The trash pail. It's right here. No, it's here. I get confused with the mirror reflection. The trash pail is here, and the information is coming in here. And you just need to boop, 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 boop into the trash pail. I think I just switched the trash pail.
That's me, okay. I'll find it.
This looks like my left, but it's actually my right, and where I am. That's, for me, the information comes into my right ear like this, and I let things go out my left ear. It always makes me think of that old expression, in one ear and out the other. It kind of makes sense in a way. Yeah. You know? All right, sweetheart, you're in good shape. Everything's good, and your mom is good, your grandma's good, and they love you.
Thank you. You're the best.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
All right, let's do another message from Spirit. Really quick, though. First, I want to say, we hold on to too much. All kinds of stuff we don't need. What if? And I do it too. I'm the worst. So when my stomach got crazy, I was at my best friend's house, and she said, maybe you're having a heart attack. When my mother had a heart attack, she thought it was her stomach. So now, the whole last 9 days since it happened, Every time there's a twinge or a pain anywhere, I'm like, maybe I'm having a heart attack. Maybe I'm having a heart attack. You know what I mean? It's what we do. And it's an earthbound concept, because when we're home and we're not embodied and we're souls, we don't do that. We live in the isness. We're 100% Zen. We live in the everything. We're not worried about everything all the time. It's part of the obstacles and challenges that we have to overcome as human beings. So give yourself a break, kid. That's the theme today. All right. Give yourself a break, Kimberly. So beautiful. All right. I'm ready to do a message from Spirit. What do we think? Who's coming? Who's coming through? Hi.
Hi, I am Michaeline from Rochester, Michigan.
Beautiful. Hi.
My question's a little more complex.
Oh, I love it. Okay, good.
My son is 13 years old, and I lost his twin sister when I was 20 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
Right. About 6 years later, I had a surgery, and I was not supposed to get pregnant again, and I did.
Oh.
Surprise, I had a beautiful, perfect, angelic daughter. And I would like to know, did I guess I would say spirit guides, family, loved ones send my daughter back to me?
Oh yeah, same soul. Your daughter sent your daughter back to you.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting thing. When you're an adult person and you've built up stuff in your life that maybe you haven't done right and you pass, and stuff that you have done right and you pass and you go home, and then you have your evaluation of your life with Spirit, and sometimes you have to do a little retraining depending on, whether you're on Santa's nice list or naughty list. And then you go home and you're with your soul family and you're doing your thing at home. And then you and Spirit sort of collaborate on when you're going to come back. Sometimes they tell you, time to come back. Sometimes you start saying, I'd like to come back. Sometimes it's a mutual thing. When a tiny, tiny soul, so somebody who comes to the earth and is either passes in utero or passes during labor or passes, before the age of 6 months or 1 or even a little bit more sometimes, man, you go home and you are ready to come back. So that soul basically, because for your daughter, the lesson of that lifetime was to have the experience of passing and then coming back again to another life and having the experience of living. But both times the design of Spirit was that she be your child. So
the odd part for me is that I actually have 7 children total. So wow. It's odd that she hadn't come back to me and any other of my children, I guess. Yeah. She wasn't born before, but she was born now. So that's my question is like, do they really wait for their exact time?
They do.
To come back. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the exact reason. There was a reason why she needed to come at that time to you. And do you know what that reason is? Can you see that?
Honestly, I didn't feel done having children, even though I had the surgery, but not because I'm her mother, but because she really is just angelic. She's a light in everybody's life. Her purpose is literally to bring love to the table for everyone she meets. And I feel that was more than her purpose.
Yes.
Is literally love. Pure love.
Absolutely. And she was never she never was supposed to come to the earth. She was supposed to be in utero and guiding your son, and then she was supposed to go home. I know that's very tragic for a person to hear.
It makes sense. It really, really does. It's just good for the reassurance.
Something going on with him in utero, and he needed her there to help him.
He's always had a difficult life.
He could not have done it alone. Had she not also been there, he probably wouldn't have been born.
Wow.
So she was kind of there as a guiding spirit.
Yeah.
Just to get him through that first bunch of weeks until he was ready to thrive on his own.
Wow.
And there was a really important reason why he needed to be born to you. So it all sort of worked out the way exactly it was supposed to, but there's something very magic about her and like you said, angelic. And I don't know if you have noticed yet, but she has enormous spiritual gifts.
Oh, yes. She talks about how God is her friend, Mary is her friend. Jesus doesn't look like the books tell you that he looks like. And she speaks of this stuff very fluently, although never attending or seeing these things herself in the physical world.
Right, right.
She's very connected. And she's also very connected to my son that I lost his twin sister. They are connected on so many levels, although they're 7 years apart.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's going to be a very spiritual, very gifted, like a little oracle. So be prepared.
Yes.
You're raising a little oracle. Nurture her a lot. Give her lots of crystals to cuddle.
Yeah, she does. She does too.
Good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're wonderful, sweetheart. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you to everybody who does the show and allows me to deliver to them a message from Spirit. And what a beautiful thing from Michaeline. So you could learn that everything happens for a reason and everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen. And it's so beautiful the way that it just works out exactly as it's supposed to work out. And sometimes it's hard to see that on the earth. It's hard for us to understand that. But it's the truth. It's all in God's plan, as the Christians say. It's all in the design of it all. And it is exactly what it's supposed to be. And it's such a beautiful thing. And I think that the more we realize that, the more we relax into that, the more we surrender into that, the more we believe that it's all in the universe's plan and that universe has our back and we're not here alone. We're not being left alone and everything's happening for a reason. The more we can just have a giant exhale, exhale, people, exhale, and enjoy our lives, you know? Okay, let's have another message from Spirit. This is such a great show. I'm enjoying it so much. Hi.
Hi, Sheena.
How are you? Who are you and where are you from, darling?
I'm Lisa Seminis from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Beautiful. And what is your question for me today, sweetie?
I have a wonder why I am so scared to death of deep water. Driving over bridges with water under it,
okay,
and not being able to feel my feet on the surface. I can't do it. I cannot drive over a bridge. We did the Sunshine Bridge in Florida. I just about had a heart attack. I had to have Bridge Patrol drive me over the Mackinac Bridge. But I can go over bridges with buildings and vehicles under them. It's just the deep water. I'm scared to death, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I've been like that my whole life.
Have you ever dreamt about it?
No.
Okay. I dream about it. I have the same thing, and I dream about it.
Is it something in the past?
I dream, yes, a 100% past life thing. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It's 100% a past life thing. Yeah. I once when I was making a paranormal documentary film, I was on location with a crew, and we flew into Memphis and we drove to Columbus, Mississippi. And I was so glad that we missed crossing the Mississippi. I'm like, oh God, thank God I have to cross the Mississippi River. We got to Mississippi and we were driving up to Kentucky, and I realized I had to cross the Tennessee. And I literally researched to find a place where I didn't have to cross on a suspension bridge. And I found a place where it was just almost like a freeway overpass that you went over. It's a past life. It's a drowning thing. Is the idea of it at night worse?
What do you mean, driving over a bridge at night with water?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference, day or night.
Because the drowning that happened for you happened at night.
Oh, it
was
did.
night drowning.
From
Yeah.
what?
Was
I
a
a
long
witch or
time
something?
ago. It was back when cars were very, very new,
Uh-huh.
and you were on a bridge, and a tire, an axle broke, so the tire literally snapped off the car, and it skidded out. And it was before they had the great railings on both sides. Most bridges now, even if you hit the railing, you wouldn't go over, you just stay there.
Yeah.
And you went right over nose first into the water,
Uh-huh.
and just kept
How
going and didn't
how
make it out.
old was I when that happened? Do you know?
You were about 16.
Okay. Because yeah, I cannot do it. Small
Yeah.
bridges, suspension, any kind of bridge with water under it. And we had a boat, and I had like 3 life jackets by me all the time because I was afraid of tipping over this big boat.
Right. Well, the same thing, right? It's also another drowning thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the strange thing is that you, like I said, it was back when cars were new. They didn't even go that fast. And at the time, they didn't even really, they weren't even really covered.
Yeah.
So it was when cars were all convertibles. But
Oh, okay.
you got into that water and you went really deep and you couldn't get out. You got stuck on something and couldn't get out.
Oh, okay. That
So
explains a lot.
I understand the fear, sweetheart, but all I can tell you is Spirit is telling me it's not going to happen in this life. When something has happened to us in a past life, it feels like it's going to happen again.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
so
I'm just getting chills. I'm getting goosebumps right now.
yeah, it's super common when something happens in a past life. We
Uh-huh.
have the feeling like it's going to happen to us again.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Exactly.
it's very visceral and real. And sometimes we even have a premonition, right? Like, I'm so scared of it because I know it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's that you feel because in some ways, all of our lives are happening at the same time. I mean, they're not, but the memory of them, they are. So yeah, it's totally normal to think it's going to happen again in this life, but it's not, sweetie. You're okay.
Okay.
You're safe
All
on
right.
the bridge and you're safe on the boat. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I
Is there
promise you.
anything that my son Adam has to say to me since he passed last year?
Sweetie, he's just so worried that you're not moving forward, that you're staying kind of in this place of sorrow. And he would love for you to start getting interested in more things and really have a full life. That's all he wants for you.
Okay.
All right. Try. And he loves you, and he says you're not going to die on a bridge.
Okay, he'll help me.
He'll help you.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, sweetheart.
Thanks, Sheena.
Thank
Have
you,
a good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a real thing. The fear is real. And I understand because I have that fear of bridges. Interestingly enough, when I was in the hotel, and I didn't want to tell the people I was with how scared I was of bridges, so I secretly was YouTubing what the bridges look like. If you go on YouTube and you Google the Tennessee River, it will show you all the places it crosses, and it will show you what the bridges look like. And so I wanted to just like map out the driving plan the next day and not tell them why. And some of the places where it crossed, there was big scare. One, it was a drawbridge, which for me is the ultimate terrifying, is the drawbridge. Because I'm sure, because I have dreams where the drawbridge goes up and my car keeps driving and then I go, boo! Yeah, no. So I was avoiding, I finally found a place, like I said, where you could cross over and it was just like a freeway overpass. And even then I was terrified. Leading up, it would say like bridge 5 miles, bridge 2 miles. And I'm like, because I was so scared I would get there and it wouldn't be like the YouTube video. But there are YouTube videos with other people who are scared to drive over bridges and scared to do other things. And people go and they do it so you can see what it's like. So if you are scared of something, just Google it. Go to YouTube and do a search for it and find people who have gone to those places and see what it looks like. and find the least scary option. I mean, that's because I believe when you have anxiety, the less you trigger it, the better you are. The more positive experiences you can have, the more times that you can say, hey, I made it over that bridge and I was fine, the better you're going to be. And having made it over that bridge, over that river, I would be okay to try maybe even a little bigger bridge next time, because that was no big whoop. So sometimes you have to do that. It's the only way to start to build the faith and the good memories to help overcome anxiety, which is really what overcome anxiety is about. It's about positive experiences move you forward, negative experiences set you back. So just something to think about for those of you who are watching that have anxiety. We're here every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, send me a text message. It's right to myself, 818-437-0886. Also visit my website, sheenametalspiritual.com, and follow me on social media everywhere, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. It's just at Sheena Metal everywhere. SHEENAMETAL. Sheena like the queen of the jungle, and metal like horns up. Okay, so let's do another message from Spirit. I'm so happy to be here with you all on PARAPOD TV. Hi.
Hi, Sheena.
Hi, how are you? Who are you? Where are you calling from?
This is Claire calling from New Jersey.
Hi,
I'm on the road, so I'm in my car. So
nice. Are you driving or did you stop?
I stopped. I pulled over in a church parking lot.
Good, good. That's wonderful. There's an irony there. I pulled over in the church parking lot and I called a psychic.
I don't believe in that. So
what's your question for me today, sweetie?
I was approached by a good friend of mine that I've known for a long time to go into a business with her, digital marketing. And we're researching how to start the business. And, she's taken some classes on how to, build a business like this. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on it. Do you think it'll be successful, or do you think
it's great? I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to take a little while, so I wouldn't quit my job today.
No, I don't plan on quitting my job today, but
I think it's going to be a wonderful side hustle that could evolve into something really great full time. And also a lot of fun, something you can get really excited about, which you haven't had in a long time as far as work.
Correct.
And something where you're going to learn new things and expand your mind and meet new people. I mean, it's going to be a very expansive thing for you intellectually and spiritually and emotionally. And you need that, because I feel like in a lot of ways you're kind of bored. I mean, you know what I mean? Like every day is the same day. I get up, I go to work. It's the same thing.
I've been in the same line of work for 36 years. So
yeah. And you need to meet more people and get into something that's a little more creative, because you have a very creative part of your soul that doesn't get fed. And it's really important that you meet more like-minded people, people that aren't just boring 9 to 5, go to work every day people, because you like people that are exciting and doing interesting things.
That's true. That's very true.
And I think that'll be great for you. I just feel like, especially since COVID, you've just been sort of stunted in how much creativity you had in your life and how much excitement you had in your life. And it's for more excitement.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Does that make sense? So I'm really excited for you. Just go slow and research. So
we're in the research stage of the business right now. So
you know what's good, what's not, what other people have done, what there's a market for, and you're going to be great. And so is she. So I wish you both luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thanks. Claire.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Everybody get out there and do. I mean, COVID has for some people, COVID's been great. Spirit guided me into how to build a website. I can't tell you how many times I'm going to build a website for you, and nobody ever did, right? And nobody ever did. So many times, and never did I ever have the website. And then it was about 3 months into the lockdown, and Spirit said, build your own website. And I thought, you know what, God, you build me a website. But I sat down and they told me to go to Wix. So I went to Wix and I thought, okay, I'm just going to create one page that's a links page that links to my social media and my payment that I accept for clients and maybe a couple of pictures, and I'm going to link sheenametalspiritual.com there. So I started with the cover page. I built a banner, which I have no artistic ability. So that's another thing Spirit gave me, was the ability to make my own flyers and logos and banners. And I thought, okay, here we go. I'm just going to put some things down that I do, and I'm going to put my phone number. And the next thing I knew, I had this completely comprehensive website that now needs a little bit of an update, but it's really updated compared to anything I ever had. And it's at sheenametalspiritual.com. I did the entire thing myself. Nobody taught me how to do anything. I built all the stuff. I did all the artwork and I did all the text, and I have absolutely no idea how I did it. I can only tell you that I did it with the guidance of Spirit. So some people had those very creative experiences during COVID. I did a lot of creative stuff. I started new shows. My business built. I took old shows of mine, radio shows, to a new network. But other people whose creativity is not in their line of work, but who relied on their social life and their off time for their creativity, I think felt very stagnated because there wasn't a whole lot going on. Everything was sort of sucked away all of a sudden. And it was just sort of like surviving and thriving and binging Netflix. And I think for folks like that, even though now we're starting to come back and things are opening up, but not like before, I think there's a need to do something exciting and be excited again and be stimulated again. And I think for folks like that, you got to go out and make it now. It doesn't just exist. You know what I mean? Like one of my best friends has put her band together after 20 years. And she's like, man, it's different now trying to find a place to do a release party. It's different now to try to find a place to do a release party. So everything is different now. So you got to find the new normal, right? Find your creativity, make your excitement, find a way to get stimulated in all the ways that you need to be stimulated, the things that really set you on fire if your job doesn't. Go out and find those things, and because you need them to keep you going. Yes, we all need to pay bills and put food on the table and a roof over our head, absolutely bottom line. But we also need to be fulfilled. We need to be satisfied. We need to be excited. We need to be stimulated. We need to have things to look forward to. I mean, all of these things are so important as well. So just some stuff to think about when you're thinking about how to give yourself a break, kid. Another way to give yourself a break is to be excited, happy, fulfilled, and make the best of your time on the earth. Wow, is that why we're here too? We're here to learn our lessons and overcome our obstacles, but we're also here to enjoy this earthbound plane and every wonderful, lovely, heavenly, luscious thing it brings with it. All right. I'm Sheena Metal. I'm at sheenametalspiritual.com. Please, if nothing else, go check it out because I built that site and be mystified that Spirit guided me to do something I had no talent to do. If you want to be a guest on the show, send me a text message, 818-437-0886. I would love that, 818-437-0886. And follow me everywhere on social media, please. I call it boop, 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 boop. It's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Boop, 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 boop. Are we still going to call it X forever? Is that like a thing? Because it's so odd. But anyway, what used to be Twitter is now X. And of course, look for my live psychic broadcast Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 o'clock Pacific time. And my talk show, The Sheena Metal Experience, airs on Fridays at 3 o'clock Pacific time on KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. This show is only on PARAPOD TV. Thank you to my engineer and producer, Emery, who rocks my world and makes this all possible. And thank you to Tony Sweet, the wonderful owner of PARAPOD TV and its sister radio stations, UBN Go and LGBTQI plus Go. And I hope I did that one right. And of course, the PARAPOD Festival that happens every year. So excited to be a part of that again next year, as I was for their first annual last April. I'm Sheena Metal. Till I see you next time, seek peace, live in love, lead with kindness, embrace unity, always work to raise your vibration, and know that you are loved and you are loved and you're loved by me. And I'll see you next time. I'm Sheena. This is Messages from Spirit, and I hope you have a wonderful week.